Hello, one and all, and welcome back, yes back, to the Great Unknown Audio Show with me, your illustrious host and most appropriate face for radio, Maxim Jennings. And once again, the flies are back, and I today am becoming the Lord of the Flies, as I am fully equipped to take on a challenging trail called the Loop around Kalbarri National Park. And as you can probably hear, I have some defense mechanisms which are attracting my opponents of the day. About 1 million flies. I purchased a fly net, and it is sitting comfortably in front of my face, covering my neck and head. My attire of choice today, I've got the shades back on, as the heat is really another test that we have to tackle simultaneously. My first real hike in proper heat. It's about 32 degrees out here, but it's not like an Indian or Central American 32 degrees. That is incredibly sticky and much more humid. This is a much more dry heat, so some would say a bit easier to combat if you are doing outdoor activity, but nonetheless having to carry a lot of water to keep one hydrated. So like I said, I'm doing the Loop Kalbarri National Park, which is where I'm also staying, just outside, but I'm staying in the town of Kalbarri, which is absolutely lovely. I'm staying at Tudor Holiday Park, which is predominantly a caravan park, but has a few places for campers like myself, also with a camper's kitchen that actually has equipment, a stove, and various, what are these? Electrical appliances for cooking. So it's been good. I kind of skipped yesterday's episode, as it was predominantly me doing a lot of driving and a lot of practical tasks such as laundry, once again planning for the itinerary, and making some calls, doing a bit of editing also. So not too much really to say about that after we left the tavern last night in sweltering heat with no shade whatsoever to cover us up. So we were gone by about 8:30, and then a 4-hour drive took us to Kalbarri. I did end up seeing one of the many pink lakes in Australia, right next to Port Gregory. And if that pink lake wasn't there, then Port Gregory would have absolutely no tourism whatsoever, because it was an absolute travesty of a town. I mean, that's probably a bit of an exaggeration, but it wasn't great. And that's the closest town to here, Kalbarri, which after driving in yesterday felt like a breath of fresh air. Beautiful beaches, a number of different viewpoints, lovely rock formations, which I went to go see yesterday, but had to do it pretty rapido, because didn't have my fly net with me and didn't want to spend too much time wafting my hands around in public. So they were kind of seeing at quite a rapid pace, but not today. We are about 6 kilometers or so into this loop trail, which, in all honesty, folks, bar the heat and the flies, has not been too difficult at all. And I was getting myself up for this morning. I had some eggs on toast. Eggs, what a luxury, with a big breakfast. And I was really psyching myself up, going, you haven't really done a walk in the heat before. You're not too great in the heat as it is. It's desert-like, there's not too much shade, and you're in a massive canyon, so you get caught in that sun and it could be quite dangerous. But we're not doing too bad so far, and I'm quite proud of myself. They also advised you to, first of all, that it was going to take 4 to 5 hours. I mean, they always do this, they always overestimate. And we know, because we have got the delights of the Gore-Tex shoes on, that we can cover any track, pace for any trail, pronto time. And that's exactly what we've been doing today. I think we've only been going for an hour and a half, and we're over halfway. At the halfway point, it did say that it was going to get harder and trickier and a lot hotter, to make sure you had between 3 to 4 litres of water for this trail. Once again, not needed. I wouldn't say I'm in the fittest of conditions, but I've probably had about 3 sips of water. Obviously doing what they advise, to take it in small moderations, and when you feel thirsty, just have a little bit. That's what I've been doing, but it's best to really hold off taking too much water too quickly. To an extent, obviously, you don't want to bloody dehydrate yourself and start hallucinating in the middle of the outback. That's not a good idea at all. But if you keep it under control and keep it in moderation, you can first of all make it last a lot longer, and second of all really get your lips and respiratory system used to the dryness. And once you get over that, it becomes a lot easier to walk, and it's one less thing to think about. So I've been enjoying testing myself on that. Had a little podcast in the background as I woke up this morning to watch my beloved Indiana Pacers NFL basketball and NBA basketball team take on the New York Knicks at 7 o'clock this morning in the second round of the NBA playoffs, and watch them get a win. Come on, Pacers! Indiana, obviously home to the Indy 500 NASCAR Speedway, so a really cool sporting town that doesn't get much love in the basketball front. So I send my support to them for the last 7 years or so, and it's great to finally get up in time to watch some basketball and not have to stay up to about 2 a.m. in the morning to watch the tip-off. But I digress nonetheless, but that's kind of what my morning has been, a really healthy breakfast with plenty of water, which is probably added on to my hydration capabilities, and so I haven't needed to take as much, so I had about 2 litres before I left this morning. Good organisation from Jennings, a rare occurrence, like as I usually say. But yeah, we're staying at the same place for another night. Last night we had pesto spaghetti with some parmesan and a tin of tuna, a lovely delicacy, and nice to have a hot meal whilst on the road. Caravan Park itself is very nice and very close to the beach. Really nice beach in Kalbarri called the Chinaman Beach. I would say that's a bit needs to be politically corrected, but it's a lovely beach nonetheless, and I can only describe it as it's called, as it has poor connotations. But yeah, that's kind of where we are now. This trail is mainly sand orientated, but it also matches the rock faces. The rock faces match my Orange Columbia walking top, my go-to if I'm going to take on a challenge, my compression top from Columbia. The clay colour of the rock faces matching that. So if I were to get lost, I think I'd be quite difficult to find. My head torch is out of battery if I find myself going astray for a long period of time. I mean, it's currently 1:45, so we're hoping we're not going to be out for too much longer. But yeah, I think it'd be difficult for me to be found anyway. So dying in the outback wasn't really on my list, and I don't think it's going to happen today, but we do need to be a bit more prepared. I've got a torch on my phone, but that head torch is going to be key if I'm going to try anything crazy like a sunrise walk. And speaking of sunrises, a beautiful one this morning. I woke up just in time to take a tinkle and have a little gaze upon the beautiful pinky orange colours as the sun was rising in the... Does the sun rise in the east? East or west, it's one or the other. That accompanied last night with a beautiful sunset. Usually they go together, sometimes they don't, but cloud coverage in Kalbarri made that extra special. Unfortunately, I was watching that from my tent, so quite far away from the seafront, but we will try tonight to not only see the sunset, but maybe go in the sea. I've been holding it off because I hate the kind of practicality parts of getting the sand off you, smelling like seawater until you get in the shower, and then you get in the shower and your hair's all kind of scraggly. I'm not a big shampoo conditioner person myself, so that kind of sticks with you for a bit, but we might try it as it is bloody hot. It's the hottest it's been so far in Australia for me. I am sun creamed up, but the UV's not too high, as Nick would be telling me, indicating whether I wear sun cream or not. But nonetheless, it's been a pretty enjoyable walk, which I'm pretty surprised. I thought it was going to be a bit more gruesome, a bit more difficult, to be honest with you folks, but we've kept on going. I think we've probably got about a third left. So I will report back to you when I'm done. And there is another trek, which is called the Z Trek. That's only about 3 kilometres, and I think if I've got a bit of energy left in me, I'm yet to have lunch, which is my two big tomatoes, because I had the big breakfast. So yeah, if we get to the end of the trek and no damage or harm done, I might keep going to the Z Trek. It's about 10 kilometers away, the starting point is, so I might go do that, and then if I do that, I'll report to you after I've completed that one. If not, you'll hear from in the car Maxim in this next segment. Right, Z Trek River Trail. We're at the halfway point. What a beautiful trail. It's only 3 kilometers return, but so much more exciting than the loop, just because you're really right in the valley here. Very tight, almost claustrophobic style rocks that you have to navigate through. Some really nice cliff faces and boulders upon boulders, even a bit of ladder action in there, descending down to the river, which really is a disgusting bogey colour green. So not too much of a spectacle, but a very much enjoyable walk. I'm on my way back now, but I'll just take a little stop just because we've done the descent and now it's time for the ascent. So I don't really want to continue talking whilst my heavy breathing is going to take me through back up to the top. But nonetheless, it's been a very enjoyable day. Some good walking, good to do some more exercise after what has been a very relaxed 4 days or so. Alcohol consumption, which I said I was not going to do, but hey ho, we're travelling. We're on a long holiday, so to speak, so I'm kind of making the most of it. Might as well, after today, enjoy a few more beveraginos, maybe stop at a local Kalbarri tavern and see what they've got on offer. Not for dinner, obviously, extortionate money. I will have spaghetti and tomato sauce with a bit of Parmigiana and some tuna as another camper's meal. But for now, folks, thank you very, very, very much for listening, and you'll hear from me in the next one. Goodbye.